Jewish law applies to everything. But would you believe there is a law regarding ownership of a lion? I'll tell it to you in a moment, but let's first say the chapter of Tehillim. We'll say chapter now 1, but please add an additional chapter for the safety, security, success of our Jewish brothers, sisters in Eretz Yisrael and all over the world, especially these very special moments that we're going to discuss in a moment what those so special are. So, chapter 100, thank you for the miracles till now and for the protective miracles further with the ultimate one. Bismillah l'soida rila adonai kol haaretz ivdos adonai b'simcha. Boi lefanav benona du'uka adonai u'eleim asanu v'lo anachna amu v'tzon marizoi. Boi yisharu b'soida chatzoroisa b'sila hoida le'bochu shemoi. Ki toiv adonai le'olam chasdo v'yadoir v'doir emunasoi. Let us give some tzedakah, some extra tzedakah. And as they say in Yiddish, der Eibishter soll halten die rechte Hand. May God protect us. And he is, but there's some holes in his protection. Please, no casualties. And imminent success in this amazing situation that the world is experiencing now. The campaign which is called Am Lavi, the Rising Lion. What's the origin of this? You know what? Over 3,000 years old. In the Torah, in the Bible, where the Torah tells us of the prophet Bilam, that prophesied exactly the moment that we're living in. And I just want to quote a few verses. And he says, Ki merosh tzuri mereno, from the top of the rocks I see him. Umigvois ashoreno, and from the hills I behold him. Hen am levadad yishkoin, it is a people that shall dwell alone. Ubagoyim lo yischashov, it shall not be reckoned among the nations. We're a lonely nation. But later on he says, Korah shachav ka'ari, he couched to lay down as a lion. Uchelovi, and as a lioness. Mi yekimenu, who shall rouse him up? And then he continues further. So here is the first prophecy. One moment, we'll go to the next text. But the Bilam says, first of all, you should know you're a nation alone. A lonely nation indeed. Instead of the world thanking the Jewish people, thanking Eretz Yisrael for saving the world from this tyranny, from this Amalek, from those mass murderers. Most of it silence and even condemnation. Yes, we are people alone. But let them remember we're like a lion. What's so special about a lion? Here's our halacha. If you own an animal, if your personal animal made a damage to somebody else's property, so there's a whole discussion in the Talmud, the difference between tam and a muad, a domesticated animal that usually doesn't do any damages, then you're only responsible for part of the damage. But if it's a muad, if it's an animal that is known to be this hurting and destroying, you're fully responsible. Says the halacha, but if you have a lion, a tamed lion that you did when it was a little cub, you play with it, you pat it, and allows itself to be patted, you should know. If the lion suddenly makes a damage, you're responsible, because a lion is always a lion. For a long time it could be dormant, but when it roars, it shows who it is. This is who we are. We can be stepped on. For years and years and years we've been suffering and accepting the suffering, but we woke up. We woke up as a lion. This is who we are. And that's what Bilam says in the prophecy. And we certainly hope that the second part of the prophecy is what's materializing now. It says, I see him, but not now. I see him in the future. What do I see? Dorach kochav mi Yaakov, v'kom shevet mi Yisrael. A scepter shall rise of Israel. Talking about Mashiach. And what does it conclude? Vayares Amalek v'esem Mishole vayom Areshes goyim Amalek v'achisa di oived. He looked and he saw Amalek. Amalek was the first one to attack us, but his end shall come to destruction. That's what's happening now. Dr. Adelson told Bibi, we have a secret weapon. But you know what? It's not so secretive anymore. The secret, what Misha says, is what is God. It's not a secret. The whole world sees how God is protecting us. What has happened these days and what's happening is beyond anyone's imagination, except for the believer. It's God. And God could do a lot of things. So please, God, we are oiling that weapon. We are maintaining this weapon by another mitzvah, another good deed. And please, do what Bilam said. Time is now for Mashiach to reveal.